Shabbat Shalom to you all. It is with great love and sincerity of heart that I greet you Todat. We are going to dive in straight into the Torah portion for this week, Parashat Re'eh, which means in English to see. Let's get straight into the teaching together, so relax and drink from the cistern of Torah. You shall rejoice in your festival, you and your son, your daughter, your servant, your maidservant, the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow that are within your gates. Devarim 16:14. Rejoicing in your festival comprises a celebration in Jerusalem, partaking of the sacrifices brought to the temple. Our sages teach that women are also 5:29:15. Obligated to rejoice in the peace offerings of joy, Mishnah Berurah. Rejoicing for the Sakeh of God, according to Sefer HaChinush, Mitzvah 488. Rejoicing includes drinking wine, dressing up in new clothes, giving out fruits and candies to the children, playing music and singing in Jerusalem. The root of the mitzvah is that people need to celebrate periodically in the same way that we need food, rest, and sleep. God desired that we dedicate this joy to His name in order to increase our merits that we may find favor before Him. Therefore, He established the pilgrim festivals to remember the miracles and the goodness which He bestows upon us. At these times, we fulfill Hashem's mitzvah by nourishing our physical needs, celebrating with the good things of life, and acknowledging our ultimate provider. When our satisfaction and happiness are for the sake of God, we are assured that our joy will remain within the boundaries of what is proper without going overboard and becoming licentious. Rejoicing in our wrappings. Rambam explains that each person needs to rejoice in the way most appropriate for him or her. He notes that children enjoy nuts and sweets. Men primarily become happy through eating meat and drinking wine, whereas women delight in wearing new clothing and jewelry. Mishnah. Torah, the Laws of Holidays 6:18. In suggesting the different ways men and women achieve happiness, our sages demonstrate their perception of the fundamental difference between them. Let us try to tune into the question of why men rejoice through wine and women through an outward manifestation of beautiful clothes. The physical is always the inner spiritual reality, as known from the physiological differences between men and women, and from the creation of woman from inside of man, Parashat 2:23. Women are primarily internal, whereas men are primarily external beings. See also our quote from Prayer and Destiny on page 191. True happiness is to achieve perfect balance by completing ourselves. Therefore, it makes sense that men who are primarily external find happiness through something internal, whereas women who are primarily internal rejoice in their external wrappings, appearance as a way of self-expression. When wine goes in, the secrets come out. Eruvin 65b. Wine helps expressing our innermost thoughts and feelings. When men get moody, they often withdraw and refuse to express their feelings. John Gray writes in Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. When a man is stressed, he will withdraw into Gyalis, the cave of his mind, and focus on solving a problem. At such times, he becomes increasingly distant, forgetful, unresponsive, and preoccupied in his relationships. It is certainly possible that a little wine can help a man come out of his cave, express his inner feelings, and get relief from his emotional isolation. Then, he will be able to relate to his wife and thus find ultimate happiness. A woman does not have the same difficulty expressing herself verbally. She actually loves to express herself, both through her words and appearance. It is important for her to be adored by her man. As John Gray writes, a woman thrives when she feels adored and special. A man fulfills her need to be loved when he makes her feelings and needs more important than his other interests. By accentuating her beauty through her mode of dress, she not only enjoys expressing herself, but is also better able to attract the attention of her man. A beautiful garment. For her soul, women are drawn to beauty and harmony. Therefore, we delight in beautiful garments. Just as wine helps a man bring out his thoughts and express himself, similarly, through her clothing, a woman expresses the creativity of her soul. The halachic requirement for man to wear a belt when he prays to Hashem indicates that men are required to make a conscious separation between their upper spiritual soul and lower physical body. Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim 91-2. However, a woman's body is a much more refined garment for her soul. This is reflected in the beautiful dresses with which she wraps her body, which becomes an extension of her spirit. Therefore, no division is necessary. Nice clothes make her happy, because they enable her to beautify and express her innermost being. The beauty of simplicity and the women of the land. In the discussion in the Talmud regarding the kinds of clothing that make women happy, Rabbi Yosef relates that the women of Babylon enjoy multicolored garments, whereas the women of the land of Israel prefer clothes made of white, ironed linen, Pesachim 109a. Representing those who are in exile, the women of Babylon express themselves in fancy, multicolored robes. In contrast, the women of the land of Israel are happy to cover themselves with simple white linen dresses. From my experience living both in exile and in Israel, I have noticed that this difference of attire is still in effect. Multicolored fancy garments are an expression of the fragmentation of exile, whereas the closeness to the one and only GD in Israel is expressed through simplicity. The color white derives from blending all the colors in perfect harmony, letting the light shine through each of them equally. Therefore, in the land of Israel, women do not need fancy garments to impress or surpass anyone. Our unity with each other and Hashem can be expressed through simplicity. Thank you for listening to the teaching. I really appreciate your love for God. Have a good week, a week full of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Shavua Tov.